What's up, guys? For the battles here, I am back from my vacation. I had a great time, and I know it's been a couple of days, so wanted to jump right into some Ferocious battles. Now, what I'm going to talk about today, I'm just going to show some battles with a couple of the favorite Pokemon I'm having that are and some emerging strategies that we're seeing. A couple of the Pokemon I really am enjoying. I haven't really made a team yet. I've made one, but I don't know if it's permanent. But I really like Bibarel and Skuntank. It took me a couple days to jump on the Bibarel train. I was originally skeptical, but after seeing it perform, I'm all in. I enjoy Bibarel a lot. I haven't decided on the final moves. I like the Hyper Beam option as a nice closer, but I currently have Surf and Hyper Fang on mine. And then another Pokemon I really am enjoying is Skuntank. I feel like Skuntank is underrated pretty much wherever it goes. I've seen a lot of praise for it, and then I've also seen a few people in the Ferocious Cup, but I am definitely enjoying Skuntank. There's definitely a few different options as far as moves. PV Poke recommends Sludge Bomb and Crunch as its main charge moves, but as we all know, there are lots of options, and in tournaments sometimes you can come out ahead with the element of surprise. So if something is only recommended 3%, people maybe not going to expect it. So I'm actually trying out Flamethrower, and one of the benefits of Flamethrower is you win the mirror pretty well with Flamethrower if the other Skuntank doesn't have it, and then you can also hit back steals. And then currently for these battles, I just have Crunch and Flamethrower because I am keeping the water matchups, the Nido matchups, and then being able to win the 2 shield with Ninetales. You can actually throw 2 Crunch and win that. But another option I was considering is running Flamethrower and Sludge Bomb, and I will have more videos in the future where I'm going to go ahead and try those out. Because if you have the Sludge Bomb, you're able to hit the Umbreon, and then if you have the Flamethrower, you can also hit the Skuntank. So just a lot of options out there. Just gonna go ahead and see how those work out. For a safe swap today, I am using Skuntank, and I'm gonna be having Flamethrower and Crunch, and then paired with the Poison Jab, and I'll still be able to tie up the fairies pretty well. And so I'm just going to jump into some battles, see a couple of emerging strategies. There's one involving the Ninetales mirror lead position. There's a couple ways to work with that. So we're just going to show some of those today. And so thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the battles. So we're just going to jump right in with my friend Chris, C-Pawnav. You will have seen him in a couple of big stream tournaments. He's done quite well in Season 1. And so jumping right into this battle, I have hard lost this lead, and I actually don't have my Skuntank on this trio. And so in this situation, Bibarel makes a pretty decent safe swap. He didn't have any electric. If he would have, it would have been a little bit more dangerous, but there was none in this trio. And so my goal here is to just take back the swap advantage. I'm going to shield, and I'm going to hope that he doesn't, because I want to make sure that I am never going to be in that position to where my Umbreon is going to be facing his Ninetales. So he did not shield, and then I will, and then I'm going to get another Surf, and it will KO if he doesn't shield. And so he doesn't shield, so now we have used Bibarel as a swap. We have gained back the advantage from that lost lead. He's going to come in with that Ninetales, and it's going to shut us down pretty quickly. I won't be able to get to another move. And then I definitely can't come in with my Umbreon, so I'm going to go ahead and come in with Raichu. It's nice with the new Thundershock. It generates energy very quickly. You'll notice I have Psychic on it. After these sets of battles, I did change to Grass Knot. I like the Psychic because it can hit back those Nidos, but I wanted the Grass Knot is a little bit less energy. Now this was odd. He put in his Bibarel because he wants his Ninetales to be lined up with the Umbreon. So there wasn't like a ton of options except for to bring in that Bibarel. But now that it's locked in, it allows me to bring in my own Umbreon, and then avoid having to meet that Ninetales later. yeah, as long as I don't have to meet that Ninetales, there isn't really much that is gonna be doing to this Umbreon. So just going through the motions, and then towards the end, I know that Ninetales is gonna come back, and so I'm gonna overcharge a little bit so I can hit this Bibarel with a Foul Play, because I will need to hit it with something, because Snarl just does not do much. You cannot really farm much down with Snarl. So I overcharge so I can get this Foul Play off, and then hopefully when the Ninetales come back, I will have the Last Resort ready before a Charm can just take me out. And then it should be nearly enough to KO. But just for safety's sake, I'm gonna go right back into that Raichu, because that Thunder Shock will do just a little bit more damage. All right, so that was game 1. All right, good game. Thanks, Chris. Now we did show teams prior to this, so I am just going in. We're just doing some practice battles. I'm just going in with the team that I'm currently working with. I am enjoying this team. I feel like it has a lot of options, and it has two safe swap options. In Bibarel is a bit of a safe swap, and then Skuntank as well. So let's see how this next battle goes. All right, now we've got the mirror here, and then there's a couple different ways to play this. One thing I like to do, if you do have CMP and you're able to get the Side Shock first, because basically whoever gets it first is going to force the other guy either to lose or to use their shield. And so I was able to get it first in this instance, and then he is going to use his shield. And I am not going to use my shield, because a strategy I'm trying out with Ninetales is to intentionally lose this lead and then go in and get some energy on the next guy, especially if I have an Umbreon in the back or something in the back that can take that Ninetales out quickly. Because if I've got an Umbreon in the back and then that Ninetales is off the field, an Umbreon with 2 shields is a massive advantage. And then, so I went in with the Nitto because I just wanted to get some energy. So I was able to pretty much delete it pretty quickly with that poison, get some energy towards my next Earth Power or Earthquake. He did end up switching out, and we've got our Rat, and this is a pretty decent matchup for Bibarel, especially Bibarel with 2 shields. And so that Water Gun just does quite a bit. And then we'll be able to get it to spam surf a little bit. It's pretty good. It's pretty quick, and it does a pretty good chunk. That neutral damage in this meta, the water is just neutral all over the place. So unless you're resistant to water, it definitely hurts. All right, so back into the mirror, and then I am just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna save this Bibarel because I do already have a pretty good amount of energy banked up. And then it was a pretty good move on his part. He actually had 2 back-to-back, and I wasn't really expecting 2 back-to-back. I hadn't really been counting it or paying too much attention. It's a little difficult with Water Gun. But fortunately, the second one didn't KO, so I was able to take advantage of that energy I had stored. And then I wanted to get his shield out and then go right into this Nitto. It's not like a good match for Nitto. The Water Gun is super effective. The Surf is going to KO. But because I was able to get some energy on that Alolan Ninetales earlier in the match, I knew that I had an Earth Power and just one Poison Jab from an Earthquake saved up already. So that's one strategy I enjoy with the Ninetales mirror, because once that Ninetales is off the field, it's a massive threat. And if you've got 2 shields and 2 full Pokemon in the back, sometimes in this cup it's not just about winning that lead. I'm seeing a lot of strategies involving just energy management and saving your shields. Because there's not like a whole lot of I mean, yeah, there is a whole lot of super effective in this, but there's a lot of neutral matchups too, and there's just a lot of Pokemon counter their counters. And so if you can just get a little bit of energy on quite a few of these Pokemon, it just seems to be okay. Let's see what we're going. All right, we're gonna go into our next battle. And then we've got, I am going to try the skunk. I'm enjoying the Alolan Raichu as well. It's a little bit hard for me to not go in with Charm or Umbreon, but there's just a lot of good Pokemon in this meta, and when other people are set up for Charm and Umbreon specifically, sometimes you can take advantage of that. Sorry, so this isn't not a great matchup for Skuntank. I didn't like it so much, so I'm gonna go in with my Raichu. I do expect him to switch, but knowing I do have some very powerful moves and some very powerful coverage moves, I just kind of risked it for this match. He was a little bit slow on the switch, so it did allow me to get quite a bit of energy towards these wild charges, and they are just pretty devastating and pretty quick with that Thunder Shock. So it's going to use a lot of his shields or take a lot of his health. And as you can see, it does pretty well. The Charm is definitely I'm going down, but I now have 2 shields, and I'm able to go in, and fortunately or unfortunately, he did get a move off. It might have been better to go in with Skuntank, and then I could have tanked this Shy Shock pretty well because it is not very effective. But it was a choice I made, so we'll stick with it. And then his Beebrill already had some energy, quite a bit of energy. So I am going to be forced to use shields here if I want to keep any sort of advantage. All right, so we're just going to see what he chooses to do with his Beebrill. He didn't shield it, and so I am going to go in with Skuntank, and then I enjoy the Poison Jab. I'm going to get a little energy on it, and it's such a damaging move that it can delete Pokemon very quickly that when they've got only a couple HP left. And so right now I am glad I have this Crunch. This is the move that I want in this matchup. If I would have had just Sludge Bomb or Flamethrower, it would have been a little bit worse. Sludge Bomb takes more energy than Crunch. And definitely you don't want to use Flamethrower on a Vape. So he's gonna get my last shield out, but I am just gonna farm this Vape down a little bit. That Poison Jab is just nice. I didn't need to throw a move because he did have a shield, and I would have lost a fast move. Just gonna use the Poison Jab. All right, and then another good game. Let's take us on to game 3. I'm going to go ahead and lead with Ninetales in this team, and then I've got my Skuntank as a safe swap, and I would love to catch a water with my Raichu, so let's see what happens. And then this isn't like a great position for Ninetales. Beebrill actually does pretty good. That water gun is pretty quickly damaging me, and then the Surf is going to come quick, and it's going to do a lot of damage as well. So an option here would be to switch, but I am doing a lot of damage myself. So I choose to go ahead and stay, and then hopefully farm him down before he does get his second move. So fortunately I didn't have to catch another Surf, but I did give a shield. This isn't really my favorite position to be in. And then, especially not with that Nido coming out. Now, either of my moves are going to be devastating. So I will be able to force a shield, but I'm not going to be able to do very much. Either way, I'm not in an amazing position here. Either he's got quite a bit of energy. I could have played this a little differently. He's got quite a bit of energy, and his moves are going to, both of my Pokemon right now are weak to ground. So I'm not sure how this trio is gonna do. I do have the Crunch, so I will just use that. Wouldn't want to use the Flamethrower on this Groundmon. So we'll just get our Crunch off real quick. And then kind of hoping he doesn't block, but he knows at this point. No, he doesn't know I have the Raichu yet. So he doesn't know that he is good against both of my Pokemon. I do have a nice coverage move on that Raichu. So we'll see how much this Crunch does. And I don't want him to farm up a ton before I can get another move. Poison Jab's not doing... It's not doing so much on either side, but this was bad. I probably should have just switched out of this because I just let him get a ton of energy. So yeah, this is not going to be good for this Raichu here. And it actually ended up not being an Earth Power, so that kind of surprised me. Maybe just mishit or different energy. It's not going to matter in the end. This Alolan Raichu is not going to be able to take out this Raticate, and the Raticate is just going to do quite a bit because I am weak to dark. So I think a better idea I could have done for this is switched out at the beginning, switched out into that Skuntank and tried my luck with the safe swap option, and then maybe be able to catch that Bibarel later with the Raichu. And so maybe for a future game we'll try that instead. All right, but good games, Chris. Thank you so much for the battles. I'm liking the cup. It took me a couple days to get used to it, but I think I'm feeling it now. All right, so we're gonna jump into some next battles. This is actually my personal coach. He's a local friend, Ice9 Ursine. He did very well in season 1, and so I immediately lose this lead, and I'm going to go ahead and go into my safe swap of Skunk, and it's basically like kind of like a sacrifice if I use it against the Ninetales, but he did end up switching, and so I'm just going to be able to, fortunately I got like quite a bit of energy. The Ninetales did take a lot of health off, but I got a lot of energy as well, and then obviously the Poison Jab did a lot to the Ninetales in the meantime, so it kind of like evens it out. I will shield. This Earth Power would KO me at this point, but I'm going to be able to get off a couple crunches and then maybe get some of his shields. It'd be very nice to keep the swap advantage here. If he doesn't shield, I could choose how the rest of the match goes, especially because I know there's an Umbreon and a Ninetales involved. And so if I could keep this advantage, I might be able to turn this game around even after losing the lead. So I'm going to go ahead and block his Earth Powers, and then I will either force both of his shields, or I will take back the lead advantage. He's not going to let me have it. And so real quick, I'm going to switch to see what I have, if I can beat him to the next charge move. Fortunately, I am a little faster to crunch than he is to the Earth Power. So I will be able to take back the advantage. He's just going to go in with his Ninetales and delete that Skuntank before I have a chance to get anything else. I'm definitely not going to go in with my Umbreon at this point, but I am able to go in with Raichu, and because it is so fast charging and he's down shields now, I will be able to just take it out, and then I'll have a full Umbreon that does not need to worry about a charm on the field unless he's got 2, but he didn't on his team. This was a show 6. These are all show 6 battles, and so basically once the Ninetales is gone, and you've got an Umbreon, that just opens up so much. And so that Snarl just doesn't do very much. It's charging his fast moves, but I don't think he wants to use one on this Raichu, but fortunately it means I'm able to get off quite a lot of damage with those wild charges, and then I can just go back into my Umbreon. And then at this point, the match, he does have a lot of energy at this point, but it's not gonna matter just because my Umbreon is at full health. So I don't need to throw my own last resort at this point, and this move will do enough. Alright, and there's the end of game 1, and you can see just how versatile Skuntank can be as a swap. Just because it is very fast charging and its moves are very powerful, even if they're not super effective, they're quick and they're powerful. So as a swap position, once you get just a couple of fast moves off, it can really change the game around. I see it as a bit of a Dusclops. It's almost like kind of takes out the whole meta. It doesn't necessarily, it doesn't delete not gonna delete things as a Ninetales would like delete an Umbreon. But if they don't shield, they're gonna have a lot of health left, or not a lot of health left. All right, so going into this next battle, we've got the mirror here, and as soon as I see I have CMP, it's gonna decide what I do. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm hoping that he'll shield, and then I know he's gonna throw his own move right after, and then I'm not gonna shield, and so I'm gonna be able to go into this Ninetales, and he won't be able to get another move off before I faint it, because Charm is very slow charging, and so he will be down a shield, and I will be up energy on the next Pokemon. Now, because it was a Skuntank, the Charm does a pretty good amount of damage before the Poison Jab takes out the Ninetales, but I got almost an entire move charge just on that little bit. So I'm still up 2 shields, and then he's going to be forced to either use one of his or have quite a massive chunk take off. And you can see how much energy I already have. I'm able to reach the next one before he reaches his Earth Power. So this is just a strategy, especially when you have CMP in the Ninetales mirror. I think it's worth consideration in looking into Pokemon you can have that can delete that Ninetales quickly. I like just a little bit of it. I like Water Gun. I like Poison Jab. So he's gonna switch out into his own Umbreon, and then this is the point. If I had Sludge Bomb right here, it would be better. Later on, I'm gonna test out Sludge Bomb and Flamethrower together on the same Skuntank, but this is one match right here, the Umbreon match. If you do not have the Sludge Bomb, it isn't nearly as good for Skuntank. Flamethrower does a pretty good amount, but it doesn't do as much as Sludge Bomb. But the crunch is nice because it does a lot to a lot, and it's a little faster charging. So I didn't want him to get off something else before I got off mine, and because his moves are going to be devastating to this Raichu, I didn't want him to get 2. So hopefully I'll be able to get rid of him, and then maybe have enough left for whatever he's got. And then if I can get 2, don't think it's gonna happen for this game. Now there is just a little bit too much energy on that Nido already. Alright, so good game, coach. Let's see if I can bring it back for the next one. And I always like looking at everybody's different naming schemes. I kind of just come up with, I don't know, ones that are meaningful to me. I've seen some cute ones for this. So I went with Rar for Ferocious Beasts. Alright, so let's give this lineup a shot. I'm wondering if I'm gonna see the mirror again. I need to find out exactly how CMP works. We know it swaps back and forth now, but as to who gets it first, is it still the same as it used to be, as in the person who locks in first for a rematch or last for the first game gets it? I don't know. If somebody could let me know down in the comments, because that's a legitimate question. Is CMP still whoever gets it first as it used to be? So it does look like we're going to go into the mirror again. And then because I locked in first, I'm assuming I'm going to get it again. If that's how the new CMP works, I should reach my Psyshock before he reaches his. And I did. Whether that's because I locked in first or because I got the 50% chance that I did, I'm not sure. He did use his shield, so we're gonna play it out. Looks like he's playing out a little bit differently. He knows maybe I'm not gonna shield, and he's gonna not let me get nearly as much energy by waiting 2 charms to throw his move. So it's actually pretty smart. I wasn't able to get nearly as much. I think I only got like maybe 1 or 2 water guns. And then he still had that. He still had the advantage of the lead. So we're just gonna go in with this Umbreon, and because my Ninetales is gone, he is feeling pretty safe here. But I am up 1 shield. And then because his Ninetales is gone and I've got my Umbreon on the field still, I'm feeling okay. I thought about switching there. I thought my own would probably take this a little bit better than this Bibarel, but I didn't time it right, so I did have to use a shield on that if I wanted to save it. And then it would have been nice to have the Bibarel on this Nido, but he is looking to get rid of this Nido on the Umbreon. As soon as I switched, he's like, oh, I'm out of there. But it did have some energy, so we'll just foul play a couple of times. And then don't have to worry too much about anything he's got. Even an Earthquake won't do a massive amount. It's just kind of battle of the neutrals right now. And then he's back into his own Umbreon. And good timing for him. I won't be able to take advantage of some of the energy I already had. So that was a pretty good move. I think it'll be okay. As long as I can land a Surf. Yeah, it should be fine. Alright, good game. Another an example of that Ninetales mirror. It's when you have CMP. I'm gonna be looking at a few different Pokemon. I suppose you could go in with a Lairon to farm up that little bit on the nearly dead Ninetales, but I don't like Lairon nearly as much. I don't feel it's very versatile. I think yeah, I'm not loving Lairon. At least not in the position of cleaning up after a Ninetales. It'd be great. It's great against a full health Ninetales, but if it's just cleaning up a Ninetales, I don't like having it because it's not going to be doing very much after. So we're going to go into the next game. Alright, so we are the Bibarel on the Ninetales, and the Charm is going to be doing quite a bit of damage, but so is the Water Gun. I didn't really have the team lined up. I didn't really want my Bibarel in that position, so I decided to go ahead and put in the Skuntank, and then I kind of expect him to switch, so I wanted to save my moves. And then because this is when I'm happy to have this flamethrower. I've got a ton of energy, and I have the mirror winning move. So I am okay. I'm okay with that switch in. I'll be able to get off 2 flamethrower before he hits 1. And then so it's either gonna KO or take his shield. So that was like an okay position. I didn't like quote win back the lead, as in I'm not. He still got 3 and I've got 2, but I did take one of his shields, and I'm still up both of mine. And then I'll be able to go in and get some energy on this Bibarel. I will need to, I did want to use a shield. I didn't want to lose half of it right there. But I'm going to be halfway to a surf. So it's not bad. If that Ninetales comes back, I'll be able to get the surf relatively quickly. But he brought the Umbreon. So this will still be pretty good, like neutral damage. Water is just super strong in this cup. I like Bibarel. I feel like it's a little tankier than some of the other Mons. Although I do wanna save it. If I'm gonna shield something, I'll probably shield the Bibarel here. I've got the Umbreon in the back, and that can just take hits a little bit better than the Bibarel. So at this point, we are both down shields, and this foul play is gonna do quite a bit. I guess it's not too bad. He is, like I said, he is tanky. But his second one I don't think I'm gonna get my move because, yeah. Umbreon is just still Umbreon, but fortunately I've got a full one in the back. It's definitely dangerous for Umbreon here, and it's just lucky that there are no charge moves happening in this cup right now on Ninetales. So the last resort will hurt. It's got a nice coverage in last resort. At least it can hurt a Ninetales. I'm glad I had the energy for that. And now we've got Umbreon versus Umbreon. I'm not actually sure how this is gonna go. It's hard to like keep count of moves through all the switching. So I'm not sure who's got more energy now, but he might. So it's just going to come down to whoever can get the last foul play right now. Yep, and it looks like I might have had one or two more fast moves. So that's how this cup goes. These are some close games. Especially there's some volatile Pokemon, especially Umbreon and Ninetales. They're just volatile Pokemon, and once they are known to be off the field, kind of opens up how you can play. All right, so thanks guys. Thank you Chris and Michael. Thank you for the battles. I'm just starting to get the feel of this cup. I feel there's a lot of energy management and shield management involved. Of course, there always is in these cups, but just because there's more neutral and less super effective damage, I feel like later shields are going to be a little bit more important sometimes than necessarily winning the lead always has been. And so just some things to think about. I will look forward to exploring the new move choices in this, especially on Skuntank and a few other Keymons like Raichu. And so thanks guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you all soon.